Alright, what's going on, guys? Tagami here. In this video, I'm going to show you how to dual boot Windows 7 and Windows 10. Now, the first thing you're going to need is a bootable Windows 10. I showed in a previous video how to create a bootable USB drive for any Windows. So in this one, I have Windows 10 already installed. So if you need to install Windows 10 on a disk or a USB, you're going to need to watch that video on how to do it. But in this one, I have it right here. So this has Windows 10. Now the first thing you're going to want to do, right now I do have Windows 7 installed. First thing you're going to want to do is type in administrative tools. And you see right here computer management, you're going to want to click that. I'll exit out of this. Now here's where you need to know what you're doing. So you have to go to disk management. What you're doing right here is you're taking your stock hard drive or your SSD, whichever one you have, it'll work. Or if you have two different drives, that's on you. You're gonna have to figure that out. But I do have one hard drive that's 2 terabytes. I have a new volume right here. You don't have to worry about that. That's my backup drive. My C drive, you see 1,814 gigabytes. That's my 2 terabyte hard drive. You have to click on or right click on your main drive and click shrink volume. Okay, I just paused it. It'll probably take like a minute or so. Like I said, I have a 2 terabyte hard drive, so it just needs to look at the space you have. So you see where it says right here, enter the amount of space to shrink in megabytes. So right here, it might say something like this, 89,000, something like that. Windows 10 by default at least needs 16 gigs. I don't think you're gonna want 16 gigs if you're gonna dual boot. Like I said, I have 2 terabytes, so I'm gonna do something like 500,000, which is equivalent to 500 gigs. So 500,000. So you see it says total size after shrink in megabytes 1357627. So you could tell that it reduced as I was entering the numbers. So I'm just gonna redo that again. And then you're going to want to press shrink. This is going to take a little while, so I'm going to pause it. Alright, so that took like 2-3 minutes. So you can see right here it says 488.28 gigs, which is equivalent to 500 gigs. It says it's currently unallocated. Now this is a crucial step, because I know a lot of people, if they're doing this, they think they know what they're doing, because I ran into this problem a while back. I tried booting it up, and I was trying to dual boot Windows 7, Windows 10, and it was still unallocated, and I had to like just go back into Windows 7, and like everything crashed. You don't want to do that. So you just need to right click on unallocated and click new simple volume. So what you're doing right here is like it's like confirming the drive to make sure that this is how much you're going to do, how much you're going to shrink, all that. So it's everything's already set for you. It's just confirming. Which one do you want to select? Doesn't really matter. Next. Alright, so here's what you might want to do. Volume label. I have Windows 7 right now, and I'm going to dual boot it with a Windows 10. So I'm going to type in Windows 10. And then the file system, leave alone. Allocation unit size, leave alone. Perform a quick format. It's going to need to do that. It's not going to format your factory drive or whatever it is. It's only formatting this new partition we created. So don't worry about that. Now click finish. Now you see how it doesn't say unallocate anymore. Right now it's formatting. So healthy logical drive. It has created a new drive. What yours probably going to look like is your factory C drive, and then you might have a recovery drive just in case something goes wrong. So now you should have something like this, just 3 drives or 2 drives, so you don't have to worry about that. At this point, we're pretty much done. You see I open right here Windows 10. If you open folder, we have nothing here. If you go to computer, just to confirm it, local disk I have right here 1.24 terabytes, and then Windows 10 500 gigs, and then my new volume is my backup drive. So now here's where it comes in handy, this USB. This is like the key point of this whole video. Like I said, I have Windows 10. You can do Windows 8, 8.1, it's basically the same process, but I'm gonna plug it in. Alright. So you can see right here. Well, I gotta focus it a little bit. Alright, no, you can't really see it. I'm gonna click. I gotta focus it. Alright. If you go to computer, I just plugged in my USB. You see right here, it's like looks like a little blue screen with a green arrow. That confirms that this is a bootable USB drive. You can have a US, or excuse me, you can have a CD, but I burnt mine on a USB, obviously. So that's just confirming that there's a version of Windows that's bootable. So that's like really confirming. So you don't have to worry about that. Once we have this plugged in, what we're gonna want to do is go right here, restart. So I have a computer with AMD, and this is an HP computer. You're just going to hit Escape, F1, I believe, F2, F8, or F12, depending on your computer type, to reach the BIOS. The BIOS is basically it's like a bootloader, you can say, something like that, or like the recovery mode inside of Android. Just an idea of what it is. So you see right here, we have startup menu. What we're gonna want to do is go to F10 for BIOS setup, and you see this right here. Hewlett Packard. I have an HP computer. So if we go to, we're gonna want to go to security. We just want to confirm a couple of things because everybody's BIOS is different. So I have secure boot and F10. So you see legacy support. You want to have that. You're gonna have to kind of go through every little setting. You see legacy support. We want to enable that, and then after that, you don't really have to worry about anything else. Power advanced. That doesn't matter. It's the legacy support you need, and then you need to go to the boot order. If you scroll down right here, you see how I have my USB plugged in. We want to boot from a legacy boot. So in order to load up Windows 10, we need legacy, and basically what that does, it allows you to install any third-party OS or anything. It's just a basic idea of what that is. You can install anything. With UEFI, you can only install certain things. That's just the basic understanding of what that does. So you just got to change the boot order. And now if we go to save changes and exit, and then press yes, now we're going to want to press escape to get back to the BIOS like we did originally. And I'm hitting escape right now. You see how it kind of flickered? Now you see I have F9 for boot device options. So I'm going to press F9. Alright, so you see here I have UEFI boot sources and legacy boot sources. You want to assure you're going to legacy boot. Then you're going to find your USB or your CD depending on what you're using. If you're on a CD, you're probably going to hit AT-API CD. So that's your DVD drive. It's pretty obvious. So in my case, I have a USB. You're going to want to hit enter for the USB, and now you're going to see it's loading up Windows. So give that a little bit. You don't have to worry about that in the corner. Alright, so you see this is the Windows 10. I might pause it just so it can load up. Alright, so it might look like it's freezing, but I saw a little circle. Once the circle starts spinning, then you're pretty much, that means it's like a relief basically. So you select your language, your time, keyboard, blah blah blah, hit next. Now install now. Here's the big part. Here's the exciting part. Once you get to this, you know it's good. Now it's gonna load. A lot of it's gonna look like it's freezing. It's not. Don't worry. If it's running for like maybe like 20 minutes sitting there, I would still let it load. But if it's just sitting there for an hour, frozen out one screen, then there's a problem. You might have to run some boot flags or something like that. But in my case, I got lucky. It loaded up. I am running with an AMD processor, so if you're running an Intel, this should like seriously work for you. But installing the Windows, usually it's not a problem. But when it comes to other stuff, alright, so here it is. Here, so Windows setup. So you gotta accept the license terms. Next. Now I'm gonna let you know. So I had on my other laptop, it had a authentic version of Windows 10 installed. So if you go to the Microsoft website, you're gonna find a media creation tool. At this point in time where I'm uploading the video, Windows 10 is no longer free. It was, but now like the professional version is like $120, which is mad expensive, but that's besides the point. I got lucky, but it'll basically use that product key and it'll install it on another thing, but I'm just trying to give you an idea. So that's why I'm not using a product key, and it shouldn't ask me for it. Anyway, so you're not going to want to do upgrade. You do upgrade, you're screwed. Honestly speaking, you're screwed, because what you're going to do is you're going to install, you're going to go through the setup process acting like you know what you're doing, because I've done this before. And I accidentally installed it on my main drive. It wiped the drive clean. I didn't have nothing backed up. So you just want to make sure you do not hit upgrade. You want to go to custom, especially if you're dual booting. So you could tell I have drive 0 partition. That was my other one. It was like a miscellaneous type. Drive 0 partition 2, 14 gigabyte or 1,300 gigs. So that was my main drive. 488, you can see it says Windows 10. That's why I like to label it, because people have multiple drives, so you need to be careful with that. Then you can see new volume. That was my backup drive. So you just want to make sure you know what you're doing right here. So some people have problems where when you click on it, it doesn't let you click next. I'm gonna try to do it right here. I think I remember the. Okay, yeah. So you press Shift F10. Then what you're gonna want to do is type in disk part. Enter. Now you're gonna want to type list disk. Now I can't go through the process as it is working for me, but I'm gonna give you an idea. So you can see it says disk 0 online, 1863 gigabytes. That was original. I am installing Windows 7 and Windows 10 on one drive, so it says disk 1 no media. You don't have to worry about that. And disk 2 is online. This is my USB drive. The one that says no media, that is my factory drive. But what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to type select disk 1. In my case, this is the whatchamacallit, the Windows 10 drive we're gonna be installing it on. So you're gonna want to know what you're doing right here. But this is only if you're not allowed to click next when you're trying to install it on the partition. And then when you hit select disk 1 is now the selected disk. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to type clean. When it clean, it's going to reformat it with the factory partition like NTFS, the type. And then once you click X, you're going to have to, you might want to exit out and restart it, but it's better than not having it work. And then click next. And now it's just installing the Windows right here. I'm probably going to pause it because it's going to take a little while. So I'll get back to you when it's done. Alright, so far it's at 73%. After this getting ready files for installation, it should be faster. Alright, so far we're at 82%. 91%. Alright, so it finished 100%, install the features, now it's installing the updates. This is fairly fast. And it's finished installing the updates. Okay, now it's restarting in 8 seconds. You want to click restart now, and then unplug the USB or CD. I unplugged it. That is serious, because then people think that they run into problems in the sense of as soon as the computer restarts, it boots automatically to the USB drive, and they think that the installation process messed up. So as soon as it says restart, just unplug the USB or take out the CD, whichever one you're using, and then it should automatically boot into Windows 10. Now we still have Windows 7, as we did install Windows 10 on the separate partition in my OneDrive. Look like it froze right there. I said a couple of times it looks like it freezes. It doesn't. Just wait. Alright, so you see how it says choose an operating system? Sometimes I know what happens sometimes is if you wait too long, it'll automatically select Windows 10 for you, or Windows 7, depending on which one, like vice versa, however it is. I'll try to fix that. I'll try to show you. It's something in MS config. You have to change the timeout time, something like that. But right now it's gonna boot into Windows 10, which is what we want to do. Just gonna pause it. Right now it's gonna go through the basic installation process, installing drivers, other things like that. It shouldn't take too long, but I am gonna pause it until everything finishes setting up. Alright, it finished the setup. Now it's just loading. Alright, now I think it's going through the official loading process, going into the actual operating system. I'm just gonna pause it right here too. Now once again, another loading screen. Now this comes up. Now it says Windows 10 will automatically run in 10 seconds. We're just gonna hit Windows 10. Alright, so this is basically the exciting part if your goal is to do a boot. So now we should be going through the process of, like, when you actually get a Windows 10 computer, laptop, or whatever, this is what's gonna happen. Then it goes to like the setup where you enter your information, select what you want. I'll show you guys some parts of it, I might, but I'm gonna pause it due to private information, stuff like that, and it'll also speed up the process. So I'm just gonna pause right here. Alright, so let's get connected. I'll select my networks, my settings, I'll set that up. Alright, set up some part of it, and I'll say in just a moment. Alright, I just entered my information. Alright, so I finished part of the information. I'm just gonna save new files to the PC by default. Another thing, meet Cortana, not now. Just a moment. I'm gonna pause here too. Okay, hi. Now we're getting close to the actual Windows 10. So just getting things ready. Make sure you don't turn off your PC because it actually does screw things up. So I'm gonna pause here until it's done. Let's start. Alright, so this is Windows 10. I am pretty excited. Actually, before we do anything, I want to fix something because a lot of people run into problems like this. So go. Oh, what? Okay, I'm gonna type right here: screen resolution. Oh, I type in screen. Okay, screen resolution. If you notice it's a little bit laggy like this, it's normal because it's installing all these drivers and stuff right here. Device setup. Okay, it's gonna want to take its sweet time. Go to settings. We're gonna go to system, I think. Yeah, right here. Advanced display settings. Alright, so mine by default is 1680 times 1050. Alright, so that looks much better. So keep changes. So at this point we got our Windows 10 all set up. This is not the end of it, as yeah, we got through the process. Let's see the official doable process. So I am gonna restart and I'll be right back. Alright, so it's blacking out. Went to that. Okay, Windows 10. Alright, so that's kind of confused right here. So a lot of people run into problems like these. I like to capture everything live, not edit anything out. So it appears it's booting into Windows 10. That seems a little bit awkward. Alright, here, perfect. So choose an operating system. Windows 7, Windows 10, Windows 7. We're gonna launch Windows 7. Alright, so what happened there was Windows 10 was the last operating system I was on, and I just recently installed it. So my guess is that what happened was it just showed the Windows 10 logo right there because I was just in it and I just finished installing it. I think I just repeated that, but just trying to make sense. But I did just click on Windows 7, it launched it. You can see right there, starting Windows. I do want to make sure everything is working correctly. I'm just gonna pause it right here because it's gonna take a little while. Okay, actually, never mind. Alright, just logged in. Perfect. So we got everything working right here. Windows 10, 473 gigs free, local disk. This is what I'm running Windows 7 on. Windows 10. So I basically, when I restart my computer, it's gonna give me to choose an operating system. Actually, you know what? Just to reduce that time, I want to quickly check something. Just in case you guys have a problem like this, you're gonna go to msconfig, type that in the Windows key R. Okay, now we're gonna go to boot. You see timeout. We're gonna want to make that. It usually increases our boot speed, but considering we're on dual booting Windows 7, oh, I don't think you guys can see that. Okay, there you go. Considering we're running 2 operating systems, I think the boot time shouldn't be too much of a problem for you. So we're gonna want to do something like 25 seconds is good for me. You can see right here, or I hope you can at least. It says right here Windows 10, and if you can't see that, you see Windows 7. There's 2 operating systems right here. This one and this one. Now, here's the thing. So up from Windows 95 all the way up to Windows 10, Windows by default should be able to read it. So when you go to boot, you can see as many operating systems as there is. But if you're trying to install Linux, any version of Linux, Kali Linux, sorry about that, I just ran out of space. So as I was saying, if you're trying to dual boot Kali Linux or something like that, or Mac OS, you will need a bootloader that will give you an option on which operating system you're going to select. But by default, if you're dual booting Windows, any version of Windows, it'll pick that up for you depending on which drive you installed it on, and it'll just give you an option to choose the operating system. So that's pretty much it. Be sure to like, subscribe, and please comment if you have any problems while you're trying to dual boot, because believe me, I know the feeling. I've done this like a couple of times, and if you mess up, it's not nice, but there is possible chances where you can save yourself. So just calm down. Peace out.